Hello, friends. Welcome to Vijay Coaching Center, one stop destination for banking, insurance, SSC, KPSC, and UPSC exams. Vijay Coaching Center, situated in Belgaum, Karnataka, is striving to give the best coaching for the competitive exams. And recently, we have also started our video classes. Today's video is on how to crack the upcoming IBPS exams, that is IBPS exams 2017. Now, two main exams of IBPS, that is PO and clerk, is on its way, and both RRB PO and RRB clerk prelims are over. So, what is the strategy which has to be applied for the upcoming IBPS PO and IBPS clerk? But before we start anything, we should know what is the trend which was in the previous exams and previous year. So, what is the best thing to know about that? It's nothing but the sectional cutoff and the oral cutoff for the various categories. Now, one can see the sectional cutoff for the various subjects. The English language is 7, and reasoning ability is 8.5, and Kant is 8.25. Now, the person who is not new, for them it's not a surprising thing, but for the person who is going to attempt, this might come as a surprise, as one would say, is it such a low sectional cutoff? Yes, this is true. 8.5 and 8.25 seems to be low, but in the actual examination, scoring this also is sometimes difficult. And what about the oral cutoff? The oral cutoff for the general is 47.5, and OBC and SC/ST are comparatively less to the above general category. So, if one has to clear the exam, one has to learn from the past. And 47.5, which is the cutoff out of 100, this shows that even if you are scoring the 50% of the marks, then you are through the prelims. What are the learning from the past then? Now, again, as I'm saying, the IBPS RRB exams is going to act like a mirror, and it's going to show how we are going to act in the upcoming exams. The questions were comparatively easy as compared to the previous year. Yes, many of the students of us had come to us and telling with the same thing that, sir, the exam was comparatively easy. If you compare to the last year, the people have attempted more and more, and overall, the questions which were asked were comparatively very easy. Revival of the topics which was not seen in the recent times. Yes, there were some topics which was not asked in ages in this competitive banking exams, but again, all those topics have been revived. I would discuss which are those topics, but still, importance given more on the time rather than the difficulty. Yes, again, this is a point which has been shown to us by the IBPS in the RRB exams, that they are going to find out how quick you are going to do the sum rather than by just giving some difficult sums and not getting the answer. If you take the same questions and sit back, you could have easily solved all the questions, but the main thing about this is the timing. Now, this I'm going to talk about the logical reasoning, where I'm going to only focus on some topics which are very important when it's come to the upcoming exams. Now, whatever I have taken, these numbers are from the RRB exams, the number of questions which were asked from the particular topics. But if you ask me what is the strategy for the upcoming PO, I would still stick with the same. I would say the base remains the IBPS RRB exams. The inequality, that is coded inequality, both the RRB PO and RRB office assistant, there are 5 questions. Seating arrangement and puzzles in PO, they have given a lot of importance and they have asked 20 questions, whereas assistant they were asked 10 questions. Coding decoding again 5 and 5. Syllogisms 5 and 5. And alphabetic, that is alphanumerics, it is 1 here and 5 here. Now, people who are going to attempt the tomorrow's, that is IBPS PO exams and upcoming IBPS clerk exams, your strategy remains the same. You are going to focus on these topics there, that is coded inequality, seating arrangement, coding decoding, syllogisms, and alphanumerics. Again, there was a very surprising thing in the IBPS RRB exams, that was the coding decoding was again asked from the older pattern, not the new a very tough pattern, but a very easier and the older pattern were asked. So again your strategy for the upcoming PO and clerk exams would be focusing on these topics, that is inequality, seating arrangement, coding decoding, syllogisms, and alphanumerics. Even in that, if you ask me, you should first go and try out the inequalities, coding decoding, and syllogisms rather than the other two topics. Obviously, if you have to clear the exams, you have to attempt this seating arrangement as well, where it is carrying a lot of importance, but the priority would be for the other three topics. The only reason is getting the accurate answers is more. What about the quantitative aptitude then? Now, the most surprising part for the RRB office assistant was the simplification, where they have asked 15 questions, straight 15 questions, my friends. It's not an easy thing to do all the 15, but if you ask me, the most accurate ones are this simplifications. So, one who has given the right time and has taken the right decision to solve this is one who is going to go through these exams. The DI, data interpretation part, again in PO they have given 15, and in office assistant they have given 5 questions. So again, whatever I've arranged, it is based upon its importance. So simplification still remains the same, and it should be given the highest priority in the upcoming IBPS PO and IBPS clerk exams. Whereas DI, again I would say, should be given the importance. The only reason is because of the accuracy. Number series, it's like a puzzle and a jumble. Some may get the answer, some may not get the answer. And the miscellaneous, that is comprising of all other topics of the quant: profit loss, SICI, time, speed and distance, time and work, ratio and proportions, that comes up to around 10 to 15 questions. And quadratic equation, surprisingly there was not a single question in the IBPS assistant, whereas there was 5 question in the RRB PO. So, what is your strategy for the upcoming quantitative aptitude part in the IBPS PO and IBPS clerk exams? It remains the same. First priority for the simplification, second for data interpretation, third for number series, and fourth for the miscellaneous thing. Don't get stuck in the miscellaneous part. Now, basic last minute tips. What are those tips? Decide before going to the exam hall about your order of attempting. Yes, friends, this is really important. You cannot sit there during the time of the exam and think which I should attempt first and which I should attempt second. Your order of attempting should be fixed before you go to the exam hall. Okay, coming back, some may ask me why you're not talking about the English part. If you ask me, English in all the exams, the strategy remains same. Give the most importance to the error finding, second to the para jumbles, third to the close test, and if the time permits, for the reading comprehension. Okay, coming back, spend first 1 or 2 minutes in browsing the questions. This is a very important thing, and many of the students or aspirants who are attempting for the first time, they come out with the saying that, sir, I have never seen any such question there, but the fact is they have not gone through it. So before you start any part, any section, that is be it reasoning or quant or English, you have to quickly browse within 1 or 2 minutes to find out which questions are there in which part of the section. Don't get emotionally attached to the questions, move on. That's the mantra there. You should never get stuck to any particular part. Many of the students keep on practicing some particular sections where they feel that they are strong, but once they go and sit in the exam, the questions in that particular part are very tough, and even after spending 3 or 4 or 5 minutes they are unable to get the answer, and they emotionally get stuck in that question, saying that yes, I have spent so many months on this and why I'm not getting the answer. But the logical thing is to just move on and attempt the other questions. Time has to be fixed for each section. Yes, this is really important when it comes to the prelims, because in the mains the times are fixed for the particular section, but in prelims it's really important you fix the time for the particular section. And if you ask me what is the nominal and what is the practical time for per section, I would rather say it's around 25 minutes for the reasoning, 20 minutes for the quant, and remaining 15 minutes for the English. This should be your basic time frame. But again, it depends upon which section you are strong on. Some might be strong in reasoning, some might be strong in quant or English. It all depends upon your own strength and weakness. Don't panic if one section doesn't go well. Yes, this is really important out there. Why? Because some are strong in reasoning, but when they go and start attempting the questions, the reasoning questions are really tough. Say, suppose if it's really tough, you start getting inconfident, and once you're non-confident, your attempt starts decreasing. So you shouldn't panic if one section doesn't go well. You should say yes, I will attempt the bare minimum required to pass the sectional cutoff, just I will move on. Probably what happens usually in such exams is, if one section is really tough, the other sections are comparatively easy. So don't again get emotionally attached to any single section. The last but not the least, success doesn't come to you, you go to it. Even after studying, say, for months together, there might be time when in that 1 hour you might not be composed. So being composed is really important. One can understand the amount of hard work you have put. So it's the time to just sit back, relax, and go and give your best attempt there. Thank you.